there everyone, we have our free workshop starting. We're about to get started. Hope everybody has their paints ready. You can play along with me tonight. We're going to do a quick little rehash from last week, and then we're going to jump into doing a whole bunch of awesome flowers. So we're just going to try and adjust this picture just a little bit so that we get nice and close and you can see what we're doing. Okay, fine. We'll just leave it exactly as is then, because it's not letting me zoom in, unfortunately. Okie dokie. Okay, everybody, let's get started. So, welcome everybody again. Welcome to the Face Paint Shop. This is a live, free beginners face painting workshop. I'm going to talk to you about using some professional face paints and things that you can do at home. So if you're a bit bored at home, the kids are a bit bored, you know, kind of missing going to parties and festivals and markets and all that sort of stuff, well, I'm going to show you how you can face paint at home, how you can have lots of fun, and you'll be using the same sort of face paints that you would see face painters use at various events and stuff anyway, because that's of course what we sell here at the Face Paint Shop in Wantirna South. Okay, so for everybody who joined in last week, and thank you so much everyone who joined in, that was a huge success. We had lots and lots of people watching what we were doing, which was fantastic. So we'll pop that over there for now. So last week we did lots of cool things. We worked on mainly with split cakes. And we're going to work with some more split cakes and things like that again tonight. And I'm going to show you how to put those split cakes into a design. And we're going to try and work with a bit of an Easter theme. And by what I mean by an Easter theme is that we're going to work with mainly kind of nice pastel-y, Eastery sort of colours, the type of colours that you would expect to see at Easter. So I've got over here, I've got some nice kind of pastel-y purples and blues and pinks and nice and pretty Easter themed colours. Okie dokie everybody, let's pick up your nice flat brush. So that's a 1-inch flat brush across. Dip in the water. And first what I'm going to do is just a very, very quick rehash from last week. So for anyone who might have missed it or has face paints since then and wants to be able to play along with the paints that we did last week, we're just going to do a very, very quick rehash. So the first thing that we did last week was we dipped our brush into some water. We grabbed a split cake like this. A split cake is any cake that is made up of different colours. So it's a cake, so it's the same cake as this, but it's split up and has multiple colours into it. It also might be called a rainbow cake or a one-stroke cake because it's one stroke to get all your colours, and a few bunch of other names, but it is a split cake in the end. Okay, so I've got my brush nice and wet, just with water by the way, and I'm loading up my colours like this. Aren't they pretty? Okay, so last week, the very first thing that we did, just as a quick rehash, is that we just did some quick little stripes like this. So go ahead, do some nice little stripes. I'm just using paper for now because it's kind of hard to find models when we're in a lockdown like this, but paper is fine. Okay, so we did just some nice little lines like that. Then we did our lines close to each other, without overlapping and with no white in between. So go ahead and show me your nice beautiful lines. Like so. And then when you're ready, I'd like you to do the same lines, but just give it a little bit of a flick at the end. See how we're getting this kind of nice kind of flicky, this little flicky effect at the end. I'll just show you quickly on the back of my hand. It's not really coming out as well on paper. There we go. So see how we get this cool little flicky effect happening. So what that's really good for, as we did last week, is that we get a pretty awesome looking tiger, a very, very quick tiger, and something that if you want to add more on, you can. Okay, so that's what we did our flicks for, whole way down. Cool. Okay, the next thing that we did last week is we learned how to do teardrops. Now this was something that we had a lot of feedback on as to how pretty it looks, but also how hard it is. Totally fine, okay, totally fine. Yeah, it is hard, it's meant to be hard, and that's just something that gives you something to practice with and something that you'll be able to learn in no time and do all sorts of things at home. So the teardrop effect that we did, I'm just going to pick up another colour. So I've wet my brush in water, wiped off the excess, loading up my colours here. This particular split cake that I'm using at the moment, by the way, is called Twisted Pastels from the Diamond FX range. And I'm using a Global Colours flat 3/4 brush, just for anyone at home wondering. Okay, so I've got all my colours loaded up. And how we did our teardrops was we went up, across and down, and that was the shape that we're looking for. But if we do that at a nice flowing motion, then we get this beautiful effect happening. So how did everybody go with their teardrops last week? Is that something that you want me to spend more time on? Something that you want me to show you again? Do let me know, because that's how we get feedback and how I know what to keep going and to keep doing. Okay, so we had this awesome teardrops happening. And of course with teardrops, there's all sorts of cool things that you can do. So we had a pretty teardrop up here. Let's do another one on either side and make this really nice little effect thing happening there. Let's see, we'll give it a little bit of a wiggle out on either side. It doesn't have to be perfect, because of course what we're doing is that we're trying to balance out you know, the features of the face, and the features of the face are never perfect. So, you know, one might be slightly higher than the other. I'm going to do a secret now and flip my brush around. And what that does is gives me a different effect, because I've now got the purple on the inside instead of the outside. So that's kind of cool. Okay, some more little teardrops just coming down the side here. So this was all things that we did last week, that we did all together, and things that you'll be able to do at home now. Let's give it a little bit of some pretty features happening there. We might just give a few little dots all the way around, or some lines I should say, kind of stripy things happening. A few down here on the cheekbones. A little bit of glitter, because, you know, always need glitter. And away we go. How cool is that? And there we've got a really lovely looking face paint with effects that we did last week. Okay, cool. Let's move along. Let's go a little bit further, shall we? Okay, so moving along. What I really love to teach you this week is flowers. Flowers are used in so many different face paint designs, so many different effects. There's more that you can add on to them. And flowers is just a really, really lovely thing. There's lots of different types of flowers as well, and we're going to play with a few different types. So the very first one, just so that we don't scare you too much, is exactly what we just did. Okay, so it's a teardrop flower. It's nice and simple. We're going to pretty it up a little bit though. So in the same way that we've already done, so we have this nice teardrop effect happening, and then we're just going to do the exact same all the way around. So what we want to try and aim for is keeping consistency, and that's hard because we're trying to get all these petals to be the same size and the same shape, and that's where it comes from. That's how you get that really pretty looking effect coming from. But it's hard, because it's harder when you say get to this point. How do you stop your brush going all the way down? Or that? And all I can say is it just takes practice. And it is one of those things of let your hand trust what you're doing, so that if you do start doing these pretty flowers and then suddenly you have something going up here, but that one felt different. You know, as I was painting, this petal here felt different as I was actually painting it, and which is why it looks different. Okay, but when I come down here, how do you trust that I'm doing the same size and I'm ending in the same spot? Well, again, it just comes down to practice, and it comes down to trusting the shape and trying to not just make the same shape each time, but have the same feeling in your hand as you're painting. So we've got this really pretty looking flower. Look how nice is that? And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to grab another colour. We've got this cool looking effect happening. That's completely dry now, by the way, because it doesn't take long to dry at all. I've got another colour now. This one is called Michelle Magic. It's from the Chameleon range. And I'm going to do the exact same thing right over the top. So exact same thing, slightly smaller of course. And look at that, we've got this really cool kind of double flower happening. We might decide to, rather than do it on the whites like what I did then, we might come and do the in the exact same pattern. Like so. Or the other thing that you can do is to come around the outside. And then you actually end up with a flower with double colours, which is really nice as well. And the thing is, if you come around the outside, you've got something to follow, which does make it just that touch easier, because you have got something to kind of follow on. So now that we've got these really awesome looking flowers here, let's turn that into a design. So using my Michelle Magic and using the Twisted Pastels, so the same colours and the same effect, let's come over here and see if we can turn that into something looking really, really awesome. Thanks everyone. Okay, so we'll bring this over. Let's start with, say, let's actually give it just a little bit of a line underneath. Okay, just to give it some colour underneath. Okie doke. So, we'll come in just above the eyebrow and we'll do a really pretty flower all the way around, of course, nice and pretty like that. We might do another one down here following the cheekbone down. And when I say things like following the cheekbone, it's the same way that you might put makeup on. So when you put makeup on, you do tend to follow the features of the face. So what I mean is you've got following the eyes, following down around the cheekbones, you know, kind of highlighting mouth, eyes, and this sort of triangle sort of part of the face as such, rather than, for instance, having like, you know, something really big down here. It's not where you put makeup, mainly because it doesn't really work overly well, it doesn't really look overly attractive. And the same thing with face paint. You know, if you follow the features of the face, you're going to find that the placement will just look much, much nicer. Okay, now I'll pick up my Twisted Pastels. Now I've just done something that a lot of face painters do all the time. It's really, really simple to do. What I did was I picked up my brush and I started getting my lines out and I went the wrong way. It's something that happens. I was able to correct it straight away. So what I did was I flipped my brush back the right way and painted over for a while. My brush is alright. So when I now do some colours up here, I'm still going to get the right colours. It's still going to be alright. However, should I just blow that further around? We'll just finish this off first. However, my split cake doesn't have those strong colours as it did before. So I've grabbed a baby white, very, very gently place that over the top of my split cake. And you can see what I'm doing is I'm not scraping it, I'm just kind of gently tapping it down. Just over the top like that. And then when I pull that away, there we go, you see it's all nice and clean again. Okay, cool. So we've got this cool looking flower power effect happening with the teardrops that we've already done, which is really cool. Let's try another design using the same effect, or the same technique I should say. Okie doke. So for this one, what I'll do instead is I'll do the exact same teardrop design, but I'm going to go around the eyes instead. So we're going to start up here, and I'm going to do my little teardrops. I'm going to follow them all the way around the eye. And then I'm going to do the other side. See how I'm doing the same design? I'm probably not quite finishing that loop as much as I would if I was doing a flower or something like that, but it is the same technique. And look how cool that looks. Okay, then I'll pick up another colour. And we'll do our awesome teardrop flower. Just need a touch more paint on that one. Okay, awesome teardrop flower right here in the centre. And we have this really cool effect happening. How's that? Do you like that? Is that a pretty one? From there, I will probably be a little bit of a perfectionist and come in here over the eyelids and bring that in with the same colour, just to even everything out and make sure that there's a colour that's matching. That's what I would personally do. And then I would probably then give a little bit more detail up here. Just something to kind of finish off the design and make it really pretty. There we go, cool. So that is a teardrop flower. As you can see, lots of things that you can do with it. And of course you have then got a really standard design as well, that if you wanted to literally just do teardrop flowers and then a leaf or chain or something along those lines, and then another one over here, then you could also do you know, that really cool effect, say on coming down the arm, around the face, whether you wanted it to be you know, on as a necklace, however, but that effect is all the same. Cool, we love it. Awesome. Okay, another really, really simple flower before we move on is this one. So all we're going to do is just use the very, very tip of our brush and get a line like this happening. See our little line? And because my bristles are a little bit separated from painting, I'm getting this cool effect with a bit of white in between. So if I wanted to do that, just the very, very tip of the brush and get this cool little line effect happening, you can see that's actually what I did over here. I used the very tip of my brush and I got this cool effect happening. But you can turn that into flowers as well. So we would bring that all the way around. Oh, we went off centre a little bit there, that's alright. And you've got this cool little flower. If you want it to just be, say, a more simplistic flower with less petals, then there you go. The other thing that you can do with just this technique is bring it in over the top of your already established flowers, or on top of the teardrop ones, and give it more of an effect, which is really lovely too. Cool, how do we go with that? How do we feel? Is there more that you'd like me to do with this effect? Are we feeling good, everyone? Okay, do give me comments let us know. We've got Paul over there answering your questions. But if there's anything that you want to speak up or that you'd like me to know, he will certainly pass that on. And there's that one there. Okay, brand new flower effect. Now, we ready? Are we excited? Good. Okay, so I'm going to grab myself a new colour. This one here is called Hippie Fest. It is from Fusion. Okay, I'm going to load up some colours here. And we're going to do this in a few different stages, just kind of a step by step, just to teach you how to do it. So the first thing we're going to do is just a little C like this, or a U, I guess you'd call it. Okay, so that's it. That's all that we're doing right this second. So just down and across, down and up. Okay, just this cool little U shape happening. Okay, awesome. Now I want you to do that exact same thing, but this time, go up and down. Okay, up and down. Cool, we've got that cool happening. Okay, now we're going to do them together. So we go up and down first, and then we bring our brush back, and the secret is to line it up exactly, okay? So don't try and start down here, because you'll just get a hole. I want you to line it up at the exact same spot that you started before. It's that this time, you're going to come down and up instead. Okay, so I'll do that for you again. So the same effect, so up and down, and then starting the exact same spot, which means that my purple lines up with my purple on my brush, and down and across. And there we go, we've got a really pretty rosebud happening there. Okay, from there, there's all sorts of things you can do. First of all, you can have a little bit of fun with your rosebuds. So you might want to make it kind of taller and narrow, or you might make it a bit more broad and across. You know, sort of broad and wide. Lots of different options there. And then of course you can turn that into a really lovely looking design. So as we've already been doing, we're going to start off, we can do our petals underneath in two different ways. So we can either do the same teardrops we've already been doing, or what I see a lot of these designs having is more like an overlapped effect. So see how I'm doing the exact same shape, but rather than starting at the same spot, I'm just giving it an overlap, just that touch a little bit, and then when I come in here, I'll overlap it. And it tends to look just that touch sort of more realistic. Okay, so you get this cool looking flower happening. And then I'll come right into the center for my rosebud in the center. See, and nice and pretty. We can do lots of different flowers and effects with this, because you actually find that lots and lots of flowers have this little bud in the center of their flower. And because you have got this kind of 3D effect happening, that it almost looks like it's a cylinder, like you can almost like put your finger in there. Okay, it's quite an effective design. So the other thing, if you wanted to, you know, fancy it up a little bit, rather than doing just those straightforward teardrop petals that we've already done, or we could give it a little bit of a shimmer around. Like so. And see how I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I'm just giving it that little bit more texture. And then from there, again, bring my rosebud, or my flower bud in the center like so. And it does look quite effective, and it's a very realistic looking flower, which is really lovely. If you wanted to then put that into a design, I would probably turn that into a mask. So rather than say trying to have flowers say coming down the side, or you could have a big giant one in the forehead or something along those lines, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to start up here on the forehead. And I have a beautiful looking flower happening. From there, I'm going to skip, come over, and I'm just going to do some buds coming down, because the buds are quite effective. Okay, like so. And then we'll pick up another brush. We'll pick up a little detail brush, and I'll get just one solid colour, and that's going to be my detail side of things. So it's going to be like all the little gaps in between. So let's say just do simple things. I'm not going to do any sort of like major techniques or anything like that. We'll just do some really simple, nice and pretty, nice and simple. All things that you can do at home. Okay, so I've just wet my brush. Really nice colour, this one. This is from Global Colours. It's the teal. I'll just paint some quick little leaves there, just so that people really get that you know, these are flowers. There we go. What do you think? Now, if I wanted to, I could then fill in the gaps a little bit. So I might say, come along and do some nice little pretty dots. We might highlight the lips a little bit with a contrasting or matching colour, which is always really nice to do, just so that then that colour kind of highlights across the whole face. We'll bring it in across the eyelids. Again, get that kind of that matching colour happening. And then just some sparkles and leave it up so. I'll just grab my sparkles. Okay, cool, and there's some sparkles there. So it's nice and sparkly and pretty. Okay, cool. And there we go. So there's a really lovely rose effect. Lots of pretty flower effects that we've done. That's really cool. Okay, so what do we think? Did we love that? Is that something that we really enjoyed? Is that something that you'd like to do more? Please let me know what you're thinking. Okay, cool. So there's that one there as well. Now, while we have you here, I wanted to introduce something to you which is pretty exciting, and we're very excited by it. For all those who are face painting at home, we have a brand new book. Now, this is a special book because it's actually sponsored by us. Okay, so we are the only people of this book. It's written by Chantal the Fairy, who has been a face painter for many years, and she's updated it to have all sorts of new techniques. Now, what we love about it is that it really does touch over all sorts of different face painting skills right from the very start, which I think is fantastic. So it's a beginner's face paint book. It's for people at home, it's for those who want to be a face painter, it's for those who want to touch up on their skills just that little bit. It's for a whole bunch of different people who might like, and you see we've got lots of designs in there as well. We've got a little bit of body painting, we've got more masculine designs, we've got fantasy designs, butterflies, popular designs, all sorts of things. We're very excited by this one. It's a really ultimate beginner's face painting book. We only have so many copies. Of course, with all the lockdown and things like that, we're only able to get so many. So please do jump onto our website, especially everyone who's watching right now. This is a fantastic book for you to have. Jump on our website at thefacepaintshop.com and be one of our first to try out our new beginner's face painting book. I think you'll love it. Please give us feedback. We're really happy with it. But of course, we want to hear everything from you as well. So, hope you loved that. Now, right now, of course, we still have our Easter sale. However, it does end at Easter. Okay, so that is at the end of the weekend. But before then, our Easter sale at thefacepaintshop.com is still on. We have almost everything on sale, lots and lots of things. We have split cakes, we have brushes, we have all sorts of things on sale. Our kits are on sale, we have all sorts of things. So please do jump online while our sale's still on. Please keep supporting us, we really appreciate it. And thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed everything that we did tonight, and we'll see you next time.